Right. Okay. We're okay.
Yep.
Right. Right. Okay, guys. So thanks for everyone for joining the call. Obviously, we are running quite a lot of Zoom calls throughout the weeks now, but again, it's all great stuff and great information. And thanks if you were on a call last night. 139, I think, were on one point, and they're growing week by week. And obviously, James Anderson's call, the team call will follow at 8:30, and I'm sure you all have the link. I've asked Susie to come on board and explain PB or clubs to us, and it is probably the most important bit of information that you need to know to build a stable and long-term business and to be able to teach it. Again, it's all about duplication and teaching. So obviously we've done videos which you all have access to now, which Gordon's going to explain to you a bit at the end of the call, on how to actually design and do clubs. So please watch those. But sometimes having someone else explain it, having a different voice, really, really helps. So Susie Mitchell, let's have you on. You might have to unmute yourself. Yes, you will. Susie, can you unmute yourself?
I can do
James.
that.
All right, James, you may as well. No, Susie, you're still muted. Touch the screen. It's okay. I'll come down to head office.
I'm unmuted. It's okay. Usually I used to do the commuting, but that's fine. Nice to see you all on the call. As James said, I'm going to talk to you about various different things, but I'm going to lead up to my version of how I used to explain to my team how to build a strong, sustainable longevity business. Because would everybody agree on the call that's what you want?
Yes, Sue.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question first. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. Are you all exactly where you want to be with your Juice Plus business? So some of you are nodding your head, some of you are shaking your head. Just think about that for a minute, because most of us on this call, will say no. That's why we're learning. That's why we're growing. The odd couple of you might say yes, and that's fine if you're happy. If you're happy doing where you're at. I just know that, even in the job I'm doing now, it's all about growth. So I would say most of you have shaken your head to say no. And James obviously asked me if I could support you in this. And I don't do calls with the whole team. I'm usually only working with the inner circle because there's so many teams I'm working with now. And obviously, it's a challenge to get round to everybody. But he just said, could you talk to the team about your take on it? And the one thing I want to lead up to this about motivation as well as clubs. The one thing I cannot do is motivate you. James can't motivate you, either James or Gordon or anybody. Only you can self-motivate yourself. And that was my foundation for it, that, whether we grow 1 club or 100 clubs, you have to do the self-motivation. The one thing I hope I can do, as well as other leaders within the business, is inspire you though. That's, inspiration is external, motivation is internal. And that's a very key distinction. Only we can motivate ourselves. Because I think a lot of you know I am an expert in personal development. And one of the main things that I've noticed now working with all these other teams within JP in the UK and Ireland is I'm noticing, because I study patterns, and I'm noticing who's really making the Juice Plus happen growing clubs. I get a club report every single month, and I can see who's either stayed the same, gone backwards, or who's grown. And I'm thinking, okay, what makes the difference? I want to know the difference that makes the difference. That's what I feel I can bring to the table and help you guys in the field now, because I've been there and I understand it, but I only used to know it from my team's perspective. And now I'm looking at all the different teams and I'm finding out there certainly are patterns. And the one thing I've noticed from all these other successful teams who break 50 club, 100 club, 200 club, 300 club, is they're actually working every single week, every single month. It's that consistency. We hear that word often, but in this particular business, to build a long business, a long game, as we'd say in golf, Gordon, we're here for the long game. It's building that consistency month after month after month. They don't just plan one in home and then take their foot off the pedal. People are doing it every 2 weeks or every month consistently. And I think that's the key that I've identified from working with all the teams. So, you know, whatever you need to do, some of you are taking notes, is just keep building that consistency. That's number one. Whether it's events, whether it's one-to-ones, you need to keep doing it over and over and over again, whether it's social media. So if you're looking at a long-term business, which is what we're going to move on to shortly about the clubs, you have to do it consistently, week in, month out. That's what I say. Our goals have to be exciting enough to pull us into the future, because if we don't do them week in, month out, we go full gung-ho, put our pedal to the metal, do it for a month, and then everybody goes like this. And I've seen teams do that already working on the corporate side. But we have to stir something inside of us to get us motivated to realize, you know, what are we going to do to get this business really 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like some of you guys have been on the call, you know, have been in the business. It is a longevity business. So the first thing I'll say to you guys, whether you're new on the call or whether you're been in the business 6 months or 6 years, we have to look at customers first. We have to be growing customers. And the two questions I'm going to ask you predominantly that I actually used to ask myself, even though I was a PMD, it doesn't make any difference. It's just a title. But the two questions I always ask myself, and I taught my team on the first of every month, these are the two key questions. I don't know whether you've heard them before. If you have, great. If you haven't, you might not be doing them. But if you haven't, these are the two questions. So on the first of every month, where am I going to get my new customers from? Take that one on board. And then number two, where am I going to get my new teamies from? We don't do anything else with the difference. But guess what? People don't lead from the front as role models with that as leaders. You know, I'd be embarrassed if I got to the 15th of the month and I didn't have a customer. So I used to pedal like mad to make sure I got 4, 5 or doing the 8, 2, 5 and 1, whatever it is, so that I led from the front with my customers. And I'll explain that why, if there's new people you're going to send this link to, why it's so important to build such a strong customer base, as we know, with repeat AROs, etc., etc. But if we're not putting on the orders ourselves, guess what? We know teamies watch what we do. How on earth can we expect them to do if we're not putting them on ourselves every single month? If we want our business to be strong, not always our customers, but our business to be strong, we got to look for new teamies. Again, every single month I'd be out scouting around. Even though I used to do Juice Plus very part-time, I used to find teamies. That's the key. And when I look and study the patterns of all these successful teams that are breaking 200, 300, 400, 500 club, and we're going to get some 600 and 700 clubs soon, I would see, what are they doing? And when I get the customer acquisition and the recruitment acquisition every single month, and you know what? They are consistent with that recruiting, month in, month out. That's the key. It's the consistency of doing it 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to build that long business. That's what we want. We don't want to just dip our toe in. You know, if you want to make it a serious, strong business, it goes back to ask yourself that question, are you in it for the long haul? And that leads me to what a qualifying business is, what PB means. It means we need to build our own community of customers. That's why I asked that question. At the first of every month, I treated myself as a dealer, not a PMD or a SC or whatever. First of every month, I'm a new dealer. Where am I going to get my customers from? Because my job is to build a community of customers, because we all know we get cancellations from time to time. So every single month, we want to put on new customers and build them 20, 30, 40, 50 customers, 60, 100 customers, and keep on going every week, every month, putting on new customers. And then logically, they're all going to renew. And we all know that one-off boxes are fine, but they're not going to build a longevity business. And I'm all about playing the long game, all about building a longevity business. So if we don't do it ourselves, how on earth can we teach it and duplicate it? So at least you can have a frank, tough love conversation possibly with your newbies. I'm doing it. Can I help you to teach customers day in, week in, month in? Okay, now you all know that 1250 is what we need to build a qualifying business. 1250 worth of orders paying monthly. That's what it's roughly about 30 premium customers per month for us to get a qualifying business. But the whole key is how I used to teach my team is building a community of people that are getting massive benefits from our products. And that's our job to get out there. Obviously, after 2 or 3 months, what we've realized then, we've got 60 customers. If we're duplicating 30 premium customers 1 month, we're going to get 60 customers, and then we're going to get 120. So you want to keep going with the customers month after month after month for at least 2 or 3 years before, in my opinion, you can even have 1 month off. And what I want to sort of support you with is that habit. We have to form new habits, new rituals. For example, if you've been on the call, you're on the call now and you've been in the business 6 months or more. When did you last get 5 customers in a month? When did you last get 10 customers in a month? Because that's what we've got to be doing, leading from the front, weekly, monthly, as many customers as you can get. And then moving on from that, we all know the qualifying business is called a club. And clubs are the only best way for us to get paid in the Juice Plus business. So if you guys want to earn the most money in Juice Plus, it's got to be about breaking as many clubs as we can. Okay? So that's about building customers, a club. But basically that leads me onto the teeny side. The recruiting side is a must. If you again want that long business, I don't want any of us to be managers. And I absolutely know in the 6 years I was in the field, I never ever became a manager. I became a trainer lots of times in the week or the month. But I never ever took my foot off the gas with customers every month, with new teamies every month. I knew that I had to lead from the front, always in the trenches, always digging deep. And I believe if we do that, we will never plateau. We'll never have that stagnant business. But it really is up to us to be the best leader of our own team. We know that. So once we know that we keep getting the customers, we grow newbies to SDDs. We know that. So once they've grown to SDDs, it's our job to help them qualify the business. And that's where the 1250 made up of monthly orders comes from. But if I talk community, a club is a community of customers. And I picked that up from Australia when I was down there a couple of years ago. And they've really built strong clubs, both in Perth and on the other coast. And the last thing I used to teach my team on the structure of clubs is go 3 SDDs wide as soon as possible, whether you're new or a PMD, go 3 SDDs wide and go 3 SDDs down. So that forms what I call the 9 grid. It's a matrix of 9. And once you've done that, you can go to the next block of 9, because I believe that locks everybody in. So the next question I'm going to ask you, who wants a pay rise? One of you, all of you? 2 arms, 2 legs. We all do. James certainly does. We all do. So again, it goes back to, we've got to build every month. The only way you're going to get another pay rise is to build every month. And I believe, again, studying the patterns of all the other teams and talking to a lot of people, is where do we get most excited? You know, if we've been in the business 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or even longer, in the case of a couple of you on this call, where do we mostly get excited? Would everybody agree it's building new people frontline? Yeah, because they're new, they're excited, they don't know any different. And we're saying the same thing to people that we said to many others before, but they're hearing it for the first time. So they're like excited little jumping beans. And most of the time they're coachable. So I would say if you are plateauing in your business or stagnant in your business and not growing your clubs, go out and recruit new people. Like I said, that's the best way I used to get excited, because then you're working with newbies and you build that excitement within yourself, let alone within newbies. And then your team starts seeing all the buzz and everything like that. So I would say if you want a pay rise, go recruit frontline. There is no better way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Because the other thing that I've noticed working with these other teams is the one word that I call stickability. And that to me is that consistency. So we want people to stick in week in, month out. Sometimes they don't, life gets in the way. So you got to find those people with that stickability. But I think if we drill it down to be a dealer on the first of every month, a newbie, where am I going to get my customers from? Where am I going to get my teamies from? And then teach them how to keep building that qualifying business. You know, so if you keep doing that, you're going to break 24 club. You're going to break 39 club. You're going to break 50 club. You're going to break 75 club, and so on. And the one reason why people don't grow their clubs, and I'll be very frank with you guys, is we're not recruiting frontline. end of. I'm seeing the growth. I get the whole company's clubs now. And all I can go is by my experience when I work with some of my team is you're not going to grow your business unless you break clubs. And we all know that. So I just suggest that how big do you want to grow your Juice Plus business? It's up to you. Do you want to stay at 24 club? Do you want to stay at 12 club, which is roughly an NMD business? And it's not a lot of people. It's about 130 people, as long as your structure's right, who are working, about 130 active people going to NMD, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, however you make it. But we want it fast is always better to go fast than slow, because slow is more painful. But 100 club is doable. It's not just this country that are breaking 100 clubs. It's all around the world. They're breaking 100 club in 18 months, 2 years. Very doable, very doable. So I would say, how big do you want to grow your business? People in this country, let's drill it back to the UK, people are earning 40, 50, 60K a month. And you know what? That whether that's 300 club, 400 club, 500 club, they are building new legs. I'm speaking to these people who are 400, 500 club, and the way they are still getting excited are building new lines and creating new SDDs and turning them into a qualified business and duplicating it. But it's the excitement. They want to build new legs. They want to build new lines. And I think just to put that buzz, that excitement into it, I'd rather be working with Juice Plus when it's happy, buzzy. I don't want to be dragging people up marketing plans. So really that's, unless you've got any Q's and A's, I feel it's excitement. It's getting that consistency long term, asking those 2 qualifying questions at the beginning of each month, being a dealer for the first time, and just building new front lines. And if one SDD doesn't do it, go and find another, go and find another, go and find another.
Great.
So Mr. Knight, I hope that's been okay. Unless there's any questions anybody wants to ask.
Just want to summarize really first. Basically, guys, obviously what Susie's clarifying is it does take work and it takes consistency over time. We all get no's, we all get yeses, we all get some maybes, and it's just part of the journey. We get bad days, we get good days. But what we've got to do is we've got to focus on recruiting new team members every single month. She's saying start as a dealer, no matter what position you are. That's really cool, because you can go, right, I'm going to do this first every month. I want to try and bring myself 1 to 5, or how many distributors you can bring in each month, and teach the same process with those guys, and you will magnitude and grow. And also building a big customer base. Now, if we all focus on getting around about 25 to 40 personal customers each, you're always going to qualify a business. Qualifying your business, the pay line volume, it's pay line volume, guys, not points. It's all those little installment figures or full figures coming from the customers each month that adds up to your pay line volume. It's all those 50s and 30 pounders and so forth. It's all those little figures, and that's pay line volume. You can only qualify to become a club when you become a senior direct distributor. So say if you become a senior direct distributor this month, the following month, all that pay line volume goes towards your qualification. And once you become a senior direct distributor and above, you want to keep your business qualified. And that volume comes from your own personal customer base, as well as your dealers and direct distributors. So all that volume comes in. So if you keep recruiting, all that volume will help to go towards your qualification. As soon as you qualify, you can get paid 3 clubs wide, 3 PB lines wide, 3 generations down, which we've got the video there on the Team Aquila page and so forth. Gordon's going to speak about in a second, which you watch and learn it. But what Sue's saying is it's just hitting you hard with it. This is not an easy business, but it's not a hard business. You've got to recruit, you've got to build customer bases. And if you keep teaching that simple duplication, you'll build your clubs. And just a little indicator, if you want £1,000 a month, go and build yourself 10 clubs. If you want more, just duplicate that. 2,000, build yourself 20 clubs. Make simple.
It's a ballpark. It's not exact, but it's a ballpark.
Yeah, it's about an average. Yeah, exactly. So anybody want any questions, guys, before I just switch over to Gordon quickly? There's one question here. Oh, so no, it's not a question. Thank you. That's great. Okay. So I think we pretty much nailed that there. Gordon, would you just quickly, before I say thank you to Susie, can you just quickly talk about the email we've got?
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, James. And thanks, Susie. Fantastic information there. And well done for putting this call together, Susie and James, and the 2 Jameses. We just want to say that what we're doing as a group, and we've kind of collectively put our kind of heads together, the 2 Jameses, myself, Sue, Michelle, and we put together what we believe is a very easily duplicatable system. And as Susie said, it's not what necessarily works and what duplicates within your business. And if you can actually start to recruit and build your business, that's what it's all about. So what we've done is we put together a kind of welcome email to all new kind of distributors that come into the business. We've got 3 videos that go along with that, and a workbook and some information regarding how to get a new person started. And then from the sponsor's point of view, it's up to them to develop their business. And from there, what we're going to do is we're going to release this this week. We're going to send it, first of all, to all the sales coordinators in the business and above who have actually recruited people over the last 3 months. We're going to send it out to every single person in the last 3 months that's actually come into the business. And we hope we're going to get to a level where we can actually build a foundation. And from there, as Susie's actually said tonight, we can actually springboard and build our businesses forward. I mean, the key is to kind of build it as far as we can. I mean, we are very successful because of the philosophy we have. We lead with the products first and foremost. We have a phenomenal repeat business organization that has lasted, as James will sit there, for 28 years and 25 years respectively. We've seen an amazing amount of actually repeat business over the years, and we will continue to see that because that's the way we built our business. So what we need to do is just kind of continue that process forward and actually duplicate it as much as we can. And if we can put this kind of plan together, it's only going to benefit every single person on this call. So I look forward to your feedback. It's an ongoing thing. We're not going to kind of finish there. It's going to be developed further. We're going to have other videos attached to the email, and we're going to continue this process. So please feedback any kind of suggestions you have, and we're open to anything. Thanks very much.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Sean. We're also going to, myself and a lady called Rachel Collins, we're going to devise a scale nutritional guidance plan, sort of like a healthy living plan, that you're all going to be welcome to use as a baseline to get yourselves on a health journey, as well as your new customers as well. It's kind of a generic guide. Obviously, we can get more depth with the specialist that's going to be in there, but it's going to be really, really cool for you guys to have that if you want to use it. So I'm excited for you. Susie, that was awesome. And
just get that excitement going. New teamies, new customers every single month.
Yeah,
yes.
just go. Yeah, exactly. Just go out there and see how many. If you go there with the intention of how many people can I help?
Yep.
Not how many people can I sell to. How many people can I help? And you go that with that mentality, and that's and don't be caught up on the end result. You're going to be fine. You should be speaking to people every single day. All right, guys. We got another call now at Harper State with Dr. Jeffrey Montague Smith, our total celeb now in the business. I'm just going to try and find the pin. It is.
Thanks, guys. I'll sign off. I've got another one soon. God bless.
Thank you, Susie.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.